Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Friday, December 6th, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. Great television archives up top, JC's eye candy below, and the results of our rock and roll poll question from Monday. How much do you miss hockey? Number one answer, 61%. Uh-oh, NHL. The answer, won't they be surprised when they finally do resume? And nobody cares. That's 61%. People are pissed. 23% of you said you miss it, but you've found other things to do. And only 15% of you said the work stoppage is killing me. All right, Bob Costas got his tit in a ringer last Sunday night on Sunday Night Football by doing some advocating for gun control. And a lot of people thought it was out of place. A lot of people didn't understand it. Some people are actually calling for his dismissal, which is funny. We've reached a point in this country where when somebody says something we don't like, even if it makes sense, and whether you think this made sense or not is immaterial, well, we want their job. We want them fired because, oh my goodness, you said something I don't like, therefore you have lost your right to earn a living. This is a fascinating time in our country. All right, A, he should be fired. It was completely out of line. B, he should face some sort of suspension and formal reprimand. C, maybe it was a bit out of place, but it wasn't that big a deal. D, I agree with him all the way. Or E, I go to the bathroom and raid the refrigerator at halftime, so maybe you didn't see it. Please answer down in the corner results for you on Monday. Now, normally we update on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm a day late here today. Sorry, shit happens, what can I tell you? All right, let's talk movies. I've been telling you for the last 2 months that Argo, the Ben Affleck movie, is the best movie I've seen this year, and that was true. And it was true up until about 48 hours ago when I saw Zero Dark 30. Now, this is the woman, Catherine Bigelow, who wins the Oscar a couple of years ago for The Hurt Locker, and she comes back and makes a 2-hour and 35-minute movie that, you know, I don't think that I've ever used the term heart-pounding in a movie review, but I got a pretty good idea I might do it this time. Unfortunately, the movie doesn't open in St. Louis until January 11th. But I am telling you, Zero Dark 30 right now has got to lead the pack. It's better than anything I've seen. And it is about the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden. They spend really about the first 2/3 of the movie setting you up. And then comes the final climactic scene where they actually go in, and it is done in magnificent fashion. This woman knows how to make military movies. I guess what I am wondering now is what's going to happen when she has to make a non-military movie. That's what I want to see. Can Catherine Bigelow make, you know, movies that aren't about wars and fighting and stuff like that? Regardless, or as they say in Missouri, irregardless, which ain't a word, by the way, and either is ain't. All right, so the movies that we're very excited about are Zero Dark 30. Obviously, as I said, doesn't open until January here in St. Louis. Silver Linings Playbook, Bradley Cooper and the amazing Jennifer Lawrence and Robert De Niro, by the way. Argo, as we said, Ben Affleck. Life of Pi, which is easily the most unique movie that I've seen this year. Lincoln, not so much for the movie, but for the performance of Daniel Day-Lewis, who I still think probably leads in terms of Best Actor. I'm not sure I've seen a Best Actor surpass the performance of Daniel Day-Lewis so far in Lincoln. So you're seeing that movie more for the performance than you are for the movie, although a lot of people like the movie. I'm very cool on Hitchcock. I hated Flight. And that's pretty much it movie-wise. St. Louis Film Critics Association voting this weekend. We'll let you know what those votes are next week. According to 60 Minutes, Vanity Fair, they do those polls all the time. Jay Leno is the funniest man in late night. He wiped David Letterman, by the way, 24 to 13%. Simpsons, funnier than Family Guy. And Seinfeld, the greatest sitcom of all time, followed by Friends, Cheers, Arrested Development, Mary Tyler Moore Show, and 30 Rock. I would like to have a talk with the people who voted in that poll. Kristen Wiig reportedly in negotiations to join the cast of Anchorman. The legend continues as a love interest for Steve Carell's character, Brick Tamland, who was like borderline retarded in that movie. All right, so we got all the end-of-year surveys coming out, and the results of the latest survey as to where you guys like to have sex when you're not at home. The favorite place to have sex at home, number 5, on a plane, that's 3%. Number 4, during the daily commute. Somebody may have to explain that to me. Number 3, at the office, that's 22%. Number 2, at a public park, that's 36%. Number 1 is in the car at 73%. Woman I talked to the other day, she said did it under a pool table. Under a pool table. 3 random facts about your holiday party. Speaking of sex in public places. There's an 80% chance they're going to serve alcohol, 29% chance it's being held at the office, and there's a pretty good chance that the party is going to lead to one of your coworkers having an affair. 72% of women and 60% of men who admitted to cheating with a coworker said it started at the office Christmas party. Average price of a Christmas tree this year, $34. Enjoy that because of the drought that's going to go up in the next few years. And if you just want to dazzle somebody in a bar, typical average Christmas tree has about 150,000 needles in it. Only about 1 out of 50 Christmas trees is cut in the wild. Most of them come from tree farms. And just over $1 billion worth of real trees were sold last year, which is about 31 million trees. All right, when we look back, 2012's legacy might be the year that bondage went mainstream. I'm telling you, thanks to 50 Shades of Grey, the 5 most requested adult toys are all bondage things. Furry love handcuffs, Benoit balls, leather paddles, satin blindfold, and black bondage ropes. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. Speaking of fooling around, you think of Charles Schulz, the guy who did Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Lucy, Linus, all those people, as being, almost sort of a dull guy sitting up in Minnesota, just, drawing cartoons and everything. Turns out he's fooling around. When he was, this was in 1971. He met someone who was 23 years younger than him, and he was so fascinated by her that things that he was discussing with her ended up in the Peanuts comic strip. Wife may have found out about it because they divorced a year later, and he married somebody else. Time magazine with the best and worst stuff of the year. As I said, all these lists are coming out now. Best gadget goes to the iPhone 5. That's first beating out Nintendo's new Wii U. Biggest campaign gaffe, Mitt Romney's 47% comment. Biggest news story, the Obama re-election. That is right ahead of Hurricane Sandy. Dick Cheney got a new book. Actually, he's writing a book about everything that's going on here. There's some suggested book titles for Cheney. How about Tuesdays with Chest Pains? And by the way, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Harry Potter and the Clogged Aorta. How about Horton Here's a Defibrillator? Or Chicken Soup for the Soulless. Thanks, Dick. New poll from the Public Policy Polling Outfit found that an impressive 39% of Americans have an opinion about the Simpson-Bowles deficit reduction plan. As interesting is the fact that 25% of Americans also took a stance on the Panetta-Burns plan. And if you're saying to yourself, well, that's 25%, that's a quarter of all Americans who were polled, but I am unfamiliar with the Panetta-Burns plan, and there's a reason why, is because the guy made it up just to see how many people would say, oh yes, I definitely have feelings about that. People are pulling each other's chains around here. We hear these stories all the time about kidnappings, false imprisonment, stuff like that. Somebody is sexually assaulted, somebody is driven to their ATMs, people are tied up, they have their houses robbed and everything like that. That's why this one caught my eye. On Monday morning, 36-year-old Jason DeJesus and 33-year-old Chanel Trudson called a 50-year-old handyman over to their house in Morgan Hill, California. And when he got there, they beat him up and they threatened to kill him, but they made him do home repairs. They said, we're going to kill you if you don't fix our sink. What did he fix? He fixed 6 hours. 6 hours of doing handyman stuff. Everything from the dishwasher to a broken door. Then they made him get in a truck and they were going to drive him to a relative's house to make him do more repair there, or we're going to kill you. But he got away, and now they have found these two people. Fix my house or I'll kill you. The United States just won another gold medal in the 2004 Olympics. Turns out the IOC just unfroze some urine from some Eastern European guy who won the gold medal, found out that he was using steroids. Our guy moves up, and there you go. Adam Nelson actually gets a gold medal now. It's like in 2000, 8 years ago. 3 in 5 people have named their car Bessie, Betty Jean, Lucy, Matilda, Smurfette, and Cindy are the most popular names. Average weight gain in December, 4 to 5 pounds. You can control that. Have some veggies, for Christ's sake. And JC's Eye Candy today. It's really depressing when you know, one of the ways of appearing smart is knowing what you're dumb at. And one of the ways of appearing cool is knowing what you're not cool at. And I know I'm not cool at dancing. And I know that, and I've dealt with it. I dealt with it a long time ago. But it's even more depressing when you see this 2-year-old kid who at 2 is a better dancer than I ever would have been, even if I took friggin' lessons. JC's Eye Candy right below what you're looking at right now. All right, again, rock and roll poll for this weekend. What about the Bob Costas thing? What do you think about that? Please answer down in the corner. Results for you on Monday. And that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Friday, December 6th, 2012. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.